Oh, down to Washington. Democrats are doing their damnedest to weaponize the president's Iran operation however they can.
Former Obama lackey Rahm Emanuel, who has his own presidential ambitions, is conferring with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries on the best way to spin it to win the midterms.
Rahm Emanuel telling The Hill that part of his plan includes a website where he suggests, quote, regular kind of thermometer / blood drive number that shows how much you've lost in your 401k and how much more you're paying at the pump. I would update that daily.
Here to discuss, former Council of Economic Advisors Acting Chair Tom Philipson and the Heritage Foundation Chief Economist EJ Antoni. Good to see you both. Thanks for being here tonight. Tom, I'll start with you. I'm not going to ask you to weigh in on messaging because you're an economist. You just look at the data and tell us what it tells you. So Rahm Emanuel thinks Democrats are going to have a great story to tell on how bad the Trump economy is, how bad the Trump stock market is this year. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, so here's the data. I mean, it's kind of funny. The party run by socialists, Democrats, who don't understand the laws of economics, is going to now run on economics. I mean, both Obama and Biden essentially had the luxury of coming in after a crisis when it's the easiest to generate growth. They also had the luxury of coming in when the Fed was very, very accommodating to both of them, essentially. Despite that, Trump generated more real wage growth and larger economic growth, even though he came in later in the cycle when it's more difficult to grow, and also when he faced a restricted Fed, essentially. And on the oil situation, I don't think, I mean, what are they going to run on? They're going to restrict oil more like Biden did and therefore have prices come down? I don't think so.
Yeah, I love the hypocrisy of all of this, EJ, that all of a sudden, all of these Democrats are just care about the price of fossil fuels, that they want people driving gasoline-powered vehicles. The reason that they wanted high prices under the Biden administration is to force people into the boondoggle that was electric vehicles. And by the way, put up the top 10 states with the highest gas taxes. Like, if you want to lower prices, you can take them down 71 cents a gallon in California alone if you just get rid of the gas tax. That's why these blue states, Cali, Washington, Pennsylvania, and Rahm Emanuel's home of Illinois, have some of the highest in the nation. It's because of their gas taxes.
All right, Dagan, and on top of the gas taxes, you have all kinds of regulatory requirements that have been put in place, most of which don't even achieve their stated objectives, like lower emissions, for example. And the result of all of this burdensome regulation is, to your point, a higher priced product. And you do have a lot of these states with not only higher excise taxes in terms of a per gallon tax, but many of them also throw on a percentage tax. And so as the cost of crude goes up, the per gallon tax actually increases. That's true in places like Rahm Emanuel's state of Illinois. And you're right, there is an awful lot of hypocrisy here because these different regulatory requirements that have made gasoline more expensive have overwhelmingly been supported by the left.
Okay, so I want to move on to this. Tom, the CBP is developing this, I guess it's a 4-part system for the tariff refunds, okay? The IEEPA tariffs got struck down. They're going to try to give them back. They say the system's like 40 to 80% complete. I just tell you, this is like you get a Nobel Prize if you figure out how to do this. It seems so complicated to me, but maybe you understand it better than I do. I guess what I want to know, though, is this whole tariff refund thing, do you think it's going to have a meaningful effect on the economy this year?
I don't know, not as meaningful. Let's step back I'll get to the checks, essentially how it's going to work. But we want to step back. I mean, the reason that Trump wanted to do this in April, almost a year ago, is said that he could negotiate down these tariffs and get concessions out of foreign countries where we now have, 30 times the foreign direct investment roughly than we had before. And also he's strategic on exemptions for them, essentially civilian aircraft manufacturing and energy, are rightly excluded from them. But coming to the checks, it's going to be very, very difficult. But the key here is, for me, is that if U.S. importers, which claim to be the big recipients or the big senders of checks, is basically who sends the checks who's going to get the refund by law. But if they're sending in the checks and there were any foreign concessions by foreign manufacturers, that means that this is going to be a transfer from abroad to the U.S. essentially, because they're going to get back the checks. And they may give some discounts to their customers if they push it on to the customers. But if there was any reduction in prices by foreign producers, that means this is ultimately a transfer to the U.S. from abroad.
I have no problem with them dragging their feet, EJ. I love that the New York Times called it illegal, these illegal duties. That's not a word that you hear very often from the liberal media. But before we go, EJ, this always speaks to how much government sucks at collecting revenue, but certainly giving it back to you.
Right.
Well, Dagan, one of the real ironies here coming from the New York Times is that in addition to the great point Tomas just made that some of these tariffs were ultimately paid effectively by foreign importers who were forced, or excuse me, foreign exporters who were forced to lower their selling prices, the Times has been repeatedly telling us that these costs were ultimately passed on to consumers. Well, if that's the case, then the importer who's going to get the refund didn't actually bear the burden of the tariff. So why is the Times now pushing for them to get the tariff refund so quickly? Dagan, once again, just another example of hypocrisy on the left.
Yes. Oh, those big, impoverished global multinational corporations that they hated, before Donald Trump was elected president. Tom Philipson, EJ Antoni, great to see you.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you.